All right, so the next question is, this is all about Nia. So how is Diamond and Nia? And how is Nia in general after death in her family? All shocking questions because back in October, November, I definitely saw, heavy family changes with Nia and the death. That was in an audio reading in membership. And as far as her and Diamond, I used to tell y'all, excuse me, nobody is nobody's friend. Everything is about keeping everything grounded and under control so that, money can be made. And Nia is about royalty. Like, so royalty shit won't get impacted in a sense. The reason why, it's so easy to understand that there wouldn't be no true friendship with Diamond and Nia is because of what they had in common to why they came together. And a lot of it was, due to, I don't, she do act like that. It's kind of like how Chris is. So we're going to show her. We're happier over here. You're the one that's not falling in line. So, and then I don't really know what happened between Nia and Amika, but I used to tell y'all that too, and I never forget that. I can't remember which one, maybe Nia, stated that, like, you can't believe everything that you see online. And I think that works both ways. Like I was explaining this in the audio reading. They do still exist, I believe. And I was saying, yeah, you can't. But there are certain, you can't believe the context of what's being put out online because people can, say what they want and create whatever narratives. But what you can somewhat judge the truth off of is the act and when it's being done. You can't, so I get it. You can't, like, when people are like heart and stuff and girl this and girl that, is either real or fake, right? But when it's done, why it's being done and all that shows through. Like, the truth gonna always still show through a little bit, even if we don't know the whole lineup of things, where people do get to be like, y'all don't really know what's going on in my personal life. But there's always smoke signals, context clues, and like I said, the act is what always give it away. Because the act of posting is an intentional and deliberate thing. It doesn't matter what you say, but when you do it, what you do, it may not tell us exactly what's going on, but it tells us that there's something, quote unquote, going on, right? And that's something no one could ever get around when it comes to when you post, because posting is a deliberate act. It is. Some people are like, oh, my finger slipped and done this and done that. But how is that context still sitting in your device, period? So still, you can't get around the intent that takes place when you post or like or follow or unfollow, or you know what I'm saying? It's some smoke there. I mean, it's some fire there because we see in the smoke. So I say all that to say this. So all of that really, everybody just want to a lot of times stay cool with people so they won't get left out, or so that they could be in the loop. They want to know everything that's going on. So you kind of put your pride to the side just to get information, or just to be sure that you know everything, so that you can think that you're ahead on things, or that, that you're in the loop. So you'll feel surprised of how true, like, all these girls ain't really real friends. They just got to watch each other, but they all have their own motives. And it damn sure ain't to look out for one another by the end of the day. It's to look out for themselves and what they have. And so they'll do what they got to do, no matter what that looks like, to make sure that they're good. Like, all these girls taking these girl trips and all that shit, it's for the show. It's to put on, whether it's to tease other people, be petty, or it could be on all sorts of levels. But what I can tell you about a lot of those girls' trips is there's no one really sincere with the other person. Everybody's on the same type of time, in a sense of when they're all, like, they're only banding together to take something down a lot of times, when it is that a lot of them don't really fuck with each other like that, but you see them together, or to keep someone out. or to, hey, look at us kind of thing. So I just feel like, but with Nia, and I did tell people this too, that I feel like she would start getting into an energy that people wouldn't like because they really wouldn't understand it, and because she's going through so many other things. I just feel like she don't really have the strength to try to really use her real energy or her best energy to deal with anything either. It's a lot with Nia. And so I do feel like it's just, I think she's just kind of functioning at this point with no intentions anymore. I do feel like there has been a point in time where she was hopeful and she really listened probably to Chris or however you want to look at it, but it's just too much, and she's finding out it's not worth it. I feel like there are some times that she looked back and she wished she just would have stayed to herself. But again, she thinks about Ro. But then she's now probably looking about to take it to the kids next. And now she's probably looking at Ro like, well, did it even matter one way or the other? And I think that's what she's sure to find out. All of this was for nothing, really. When all she had to do was just be true to herself and make sure her daughter was good with her father. You know what I'm saying? That ain't you being selfish. Because I'd rather do that than just put up a front and deal with people that my intuition is already telling me is fucked up. If I see that you do fucked up stuff to other people that's right there in front of me, there's no fucking way I'm gonna be Captain Save-A-Ho and think I'm gonna really alchemize some shit. Because all you gonna do is siphon my shit, and then I'm either gonna turn into a you, because I know damn well you ain't finna turn into a me, because it takes time and effort and patience. It takes a different type of mindset and skill set, which is why she was able to navigate the way that she was, and they was hoping that she could sprinkle her fairy dust on these last two. But these last two, they don't know. They're not cut from that type of fabric like that. They're just not. And that's just, and I think, these are things that she's having to arrive to. And so the last question was, that like she's following all of the other girls and all of that other stuff. That's still some it's giving glue energy. Like keeping everything airtight, basically. Keeping everything airtight. This is who I'm standing by. Kind of thing. This is just, and I pray that Chris gets better with understanding his power and how easily it could cause a divide, and how easily it can also bring forth unity. But I think because having a unity is so hard, it's so easy for him to resort to doing certain things to pit people against each other. And I'm not gonna like say he's all innocent and none of that and all of that too, because he be knowing what he doing as well. But at the same time, I do think there are moments where he just get in his feelings and it's like, well, I've been doing this, they gonna get it. I'm mad at you, so you can't get it. Like he tells himself these things to make himself feel better about his behaviors. And these are things he has to mature in. Because the whole fact of the matter is, it's just about getting everything in order the right way. There's no way you can cut corners with situations like this when you're dealing with personalities like the ones he attracted to deal with. It's just not gonna happen. It don't work like that. And I think in his mind, he just thought, I'm gonna do it. It's never been done in history before. We're gonna bring all these baby moms together. We're gonna have this big blended family, and because everybody got to be on the same accord. I don't give a fuck if you're building something out of Play-Doh, Legos, whatever it is. In order to build and maintain anything, everybody has to be on the same accord. And in his mind, he thinking because he's the common denominator that should be enough. And that part is that underlying arrogance that I don't think he thinks is arrogant, because and I think in his mind he feels I work hard to take care of y'all. The least y'all could do is all just come together for me and show me respect in exchange for that. That's a very practical, earthy way to look at it. And is it fair? Yeah, it is. But he got to dig a little deeper and understand what that says about his character, though, in a sense of what are you really willing to do within yourself? What are the truths you're really willing to tell yourself when it comes to these indifferences in these women? And how much of the truth are you willing to accept about yourself, about these women that you had children with? Because that's what it really all boils down to. him just kind of like trying to comb over, like, he'll openly say, yeah, I just, I effed up and it is what it is. But then there's that but because I can provide for y'all and, I look out for y'all, I treat y'all good, the least y'all can do is just get along for me. But I mean, it just me, like, really? No, like, everybody by the end of the day have their own motives, and everybody's selfish by the end of the day. That's not good enough. They're not going to see it like that because they're not the ones out there having to make that money. They're only receiving it. So they don't know what it's like to sweat, to even understand and say, yeah, you know what, I'm going to act right. So he falls into this energy where he has to even manipulate them to get what he wants out of them, to have this picture perfect image of a father and having his baby moms out of court because he wants people to think that, like, we can do this out of court. We can have that unity and da-da-da-da-da. No, everybody's just lying to themselves and each other at the end of the day. And before you know it, they're going to attack. They're never going to like be consistent in loyalty. It can't work like that. It just doesn't. And it just, for him, on deeper levels, this is what causes those underlying tones of, like, what are you really willing to face within yourself, truth wise. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, to let them all put them on papers and send them on their way says what everybody probably, he see what everybody else go through, and people probably didn't already preach to him, so he wanted to be the one to say, that ain't gonna be me. But that's just him still not fully accepting what he, how he has created, who he has created these children with. He still wanted to put in all that effort to cover it up, and he, in a sense, saying, hey, look at me, I'm covering up, I'm helping y'all cover it up, so help me. But they don't care. They want to show that you're a fuck up if they don't get their way. If you're not choosing them to be with, man is Nia, if you're not choosing them to be with, then no, we're not gonna make you look good, because you're not giving us what we want. We want you to be our man, or make, put us on a high pedestal so we can get some Karuchi perks and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then you give them that, they're gonna want more. It's endless. You can't, there's no shortcuts to the mistakes he made, and he just needs to understand that. And I think all of the stuff he's saying, streaming and all, that's his way of, like, that's his frustration in it. You know what I'm saying? But he needs to redirect it back within, instead of just, just sitting up here just lashing out about it, because it just have these girls getting amped up still even more, like, oh, he still care, we could still do this back and forth thing, because he's directing it outward. It's a lashing out kind of thing, instead of him just, like, him making these moves with structure says, I'm finally owning this. This is how it goes. And I could promise him, once it's locked in like that, he won't have no more problems. No more. And shout out to the ladies that be saying that. That's why he has the least problems with Nia, because Nia's on papers. And, that's just how it goes. And so back to her. So yeah, she just, I feel like she's going to keep having awakenings. It's going to be a slow year for Nia. And as far as her and Don, I feel like they could eventually still be cordial, speak to each other and all that kind of stuff. But one can only hope that Nia just chooses to grow out of this and just worry about herself and her kids and their connection with Chris. Well, her daughter and her connection with Chris, because it's going to be very important that she does with the age, right? What role, the phases Ro is about to go through. She's not going to have time to be babying the last two baby moms or playing games with, and doing all of that, when she's going to have her own daughter that's about to enter into those same age ranges that these last two girls probably got damaged in. That's how she got to look at that. Like, my daughter finna be probably the same age y'all were when y'all developed the issues y'all got that landed y'all in the fucking positions y'all are in now. Yes, pause for dramatic effect. So yeah, she can't, hey, she tried to make Chris's wish come true. But I mean, he got to understand what's really going on beneath all of this, and just own it, let it be what it is. It's okay. He would be so much further and have way less problems by now. He just prolonged it. That's all. thinking you can't hold that together. You can't be the glue and have to leave from in between all of them to take care of business too, and then be surprised when you get back when everybody then fuck some shit up and stabbing your ass in the back too while you out making the money. You can't do all of it. You can't do it all. All right? And then you can't expect for Nia or your mom or anybody else to be that either. Like, it don't work like that, you know. And leaders, like the type of leader he wants to be, the type of respect he wants to get as a father and as a leader, they don't handle things like this. They get their shit on paper. You know what I'm saying? Because they know how that shit can rotate at that point and how far it could get them when it's on paper, when it's in black and white. You know, but when all this shit is in the air and it's he say, she say, or we just shook hands, it was a word of mouth kind of thing, a verbal agreement, hell nah. You'll never get your respect because you'll never have nothing to back that shit up with to reinforce the fucking rules. Okay? And that's that. And it's not Nia's responsibility, his mom, Christina, none of them. It's not their responsibility to be the glue when he's out making the money again. If you ask me, it's like the last two really are the ones checking all of them. But because that hurts their feelings so much to really see that, they try to put on like, nah, we got these two bitches in line. No, to me, it looked like under these conditions and circumstances that they've been riding out on, Diamond and Amika has been eating their asses up. But it's hard to face that truth. But it's true. All right? So that's Nia.